thinking about it. I'm just eyes and ears just looking at it. And I can just appreciate it. And that's been more beneficial to me than any fucking meeting or whatever. And I'm trying to wrap it up to that point, but
Is it too broad to wrap it up?
But when I'm with friends, I do appreciate it. I do really enjoy being with people, and I know whenever I spend a week or two distance from everything, I do feel a little bit unwhole. But whenever you decide to cope with people, you feel lonely, so you decide to surround yourself with people. That's not the solution. I think it's to be comfortable with yourself, truly, and to allow others to be comfortable with you as you are comfortable with yourself in your world. That's just what it is.
I see.
It's not the acceptance of a schizoid scenario, purposely distancing yourself from everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the actualization of what you need and what you need to be happy, basically, and you need to live and survive.
Yeah.
And I think by taking steps back of everything is the best thing you can do. I think camping has done such a good impact to me because when you're in the middle of the woods, you're in something like this, no lights, no cars, none of that, and you're cold, you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're tired, your body is tired, you realize what you really need. You're not thinking about anything else other than you need to get a fire, you need to be able to cook whatever you need, you need to be able to have some kind of section where you can either sleep, you could tie up a hammock to a tree, what you need to be able to be warm, and that grounds you in reality.
Mm-hmm.
It stops from all the bullshit when it comes to people not texting you back or not being able to organize something with somebody, somebody's busy.
Yeah.
Whenever you get into that scenario when, you're feeling kind of down, you're alone, and then you text somebody because you expected them to be able to fill that, and then they cancel, and it feels even worse. You feel like you've been betrayed.
Yeah.
And psychologically, the best thing that your brain does for you is just to distance yourself from all of that, because it brings that negative connotation that people are bad, you feel good being away from people. It's just the way your brain copes, basically. Whenever you feel so much pain, like physically, like your arm chopped off or whatever, your brain can't even almost register how much pain that is. And you know that it's painful, but your brain is better off just not feeling anything. Because if you were to feel that, if all your nerves were to just go crazy, you'd be debilitated. That's what the adrenaline and all that stuff for. It's just a coping mechanism that your brain does that almost is counterintuitive what it actually is there to serve.
Yeah.
So by grinding yourself, like removing all of that, you become happy just being able to sit around being warm. When you have to sleep when it's 20 degrees outside and you ate a meal that wasn't very fulfilling because it was too cold to get your fire going.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you get into the scenario where whatever bullshit is happening, in normal world, it doesn't faze you because you're happy just being able to have a clean jacket that you're wearing.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying go my route of what I did, but I feel like things like that has been the most helpful for me.
I did want to camp before, but I want to experience the survivaling aspects of nature and stuff. It's just that I don't really have like a plan to do it,
Oh, well, that's your problem. See what I just said here? The things that I brought that pretty much got this started? A lighter.
Yeah.
That's it. It's water. I mean, everything. I could sleep right now. I could just put on. I'm fine. That's it. So, I definitely bought gear and I definitely spent planning, but you don't need it. you honestly, you don't need much, because it's not that hard, nowadays. I mean, you could, I bought, like, my camping backpack and all that shit, but everything you need to be able to go out into a woods and survive for weeks, you can take out of your kitchen. You could pack in 30 minutes. It's that simple. That's all you need.
And knowledge, you don't really...
Yes, of course. That's the best thing that you can bring with you is your skills. And mental fortitude, but
Yeah, of course.
if I was skilled enough, which I think I'm getting to there, it's a light at the end of the tunnel that I can see, but if perfect circumstances, when I had skills and the mental fortitude and all that stuff, I could go out with nothing but the clothes on my back, and that's it. I mean, I brought my knife on me because I was kind of hoping that we'd end up at this scenario, and of course my ladder too. But if you know how to do a hand drill, there's plenty of rocks out here. You saw I didn't bring my axe, but I managed to pretty much do the exact same thing I normally would.
Yeah.
And you got a fire going. If it were such a dramatic scenario, this is actually probably the best possible place because of the water coming in. It's too low, but if it was a little bit higher, fish would come in, and you'd be able to sit right there and catch fish. You could deal with there's fishing line there, right there that was digging up, but you could always spear fish. You could always, make traps. You can weave things together where it lures fish in, but because of the way it's designed, the fish don't leave, and you pull out of the water, and you have fish, and you have a fire to cook it, and it's that simple, and that's all you need. Like, it's not a difficult scenario for a experienced person, but that is the true worrying thing, is that most people in the city can't do that. And I've spent no more than a week or two spending the night on the woods, probably a total 100 hours. I have 2,000 hours in Counter-Strike. Over that, if I were to spend 2,000 hours
in the woods
doing this, fucking hell, most people would think I'm goddamn Bear Grylls.
Do you want to? I know.
Well, I do want to develop skills, because I do want to eventually do homesteading stuff, and I need to be able to deal with when it comes to food and sleeping and shelter. But I feel like I got down that path. But it's just like I was saying. It's
a very simple lifestyle. Just we have to learn the skills, and also you were talking about connecting it to how loneliness is. Because of loneliness, you're always in your head type shit. So in order to keep you grounded, or find a way to ground yourself, or ground you into reality, being able to connect with nature, or realize that really social needs is not like something that you really, really need. It's more of the things you have to consume, or something that keeps you alive. Like living is way more important.
You're in the scenario where every biological function, when it comes to your sleep and your food and your water and your health and all that stuff, is met.
Yeah.
And you have nothing to do. You enter the surrogate activities. You enter the hobbies, like, oh, I collect stamps, or oh, I do this, and I go out and I hang out with friends,
or collecting money too,
and gaining money, all this stuff, and it's never fulfilling, because how could it be? And then we've reached a whole new stage in our society where we're denying most biological needs, especially the biggest one when it comes to childbearing. It's such a strange thing when you take a step back, like I have, where people deny having kids and reproducing for the sake of global warming or their financial situation or whatever. It's less than barbaric. Like, it's unexplainable, honestly. And that is probably one of the biggest dangers. And yet people wonder why they're unhappy. You know, they're in these circumstances where they can do nothing but exist. They cannot live. They cannot spend their time developing their land, and they're harvesting their wheat and meeting their family, and they are obsessed with, you know, whatever product that was created by capitalism for people to continuously be in that hamster wheel, growing the economy and killing themselves.
And this promised happiness that you can't find, just existing. Right? I can get more wood.